Hi, this is Dan Proft, conservative Republican candidate for governor, and today I am calling on State Senator Kirk Dillard to renounce the endorsement he received from the Illinois Education Association, the largest teachers union in this state. And one of the things I've said during this campaign is if the Republican Party wants to be a majority party again in Illinois, we must take on the grand defenders of the status quo, and that means the public sector unions. We must take the fight to them, not take their money. So the question you have to ask yourself is whose interests are being served by this endorsement? What does the IEA get out of it, or what do they think they get out of it? Has Kirk Dillard changed the mind's eye of the IEA to be a proponent of K through 12 reform? Or is it more likely that the IEA views Kirk Dillard as somebody who will flack for their interests? That's a question you have to ask yourself, and remember what the IEA's interests are. Their interests in maintaining the status quo with respect to pension benefits to their members, even though we have an $80 billion unfunded liability. And their interests are also raising your taxes. Remember, the IEA wants to see a permanent increase in the state income tax. Now, Kirk Dillard has accepted $120,000 in campaign contributions from the IEA during his career. So he has been a stalwart defender of the established order of things in Springfield, particularly when it comes to K-12. And during those 15 years, as we have increased state spending by 32% on K-12 education, we've seen test scores stagnate and graduation rates actually decline. So the interests that are being served by the money that we're spending on K-12 education in this state are not the children's, they're the adults in the systems, frankly, the IEA. So Kirk Dillard is playing the same old game that we've seen in Springfield, run by Chicago Democrats and complicit Republicans. You give me the cash to advance my political interests, and I'll return the favor by protecting the status quo. In this election cycle, there's a very clear choice for governor. Kirk Dillard and the rest of my opponents are content to manage the decline of this state. They're quibbling about how we finance the status quo. They're beholden to the same folks that have destroyed this state's economy. So we can go that direction, or we can embrace policy revolution. And I mean that word, revolution. And revolution in K-12 education means introducing competition into a system that has eschewed competition to the detriment of hundreds of thousands of children relegated to schools we know will fail them. The Republican Party can be a majority party again if we align our interests with the hopes and aspirations that low to moderate income families have for their children vis-a-vis the kind of quality schools they can access, to ensure that every child in this state has access to the kind of education I was able to receive thanks to my parents' sacrifices, the same kind of education Barack Obama's children are going to be able to receive thanks to his status. That same opportunity needs to be extended to low to middle income families in this state. State Senator Kirk Dillard is not going to take them on. He's going to continue to be in bed with the IEA. We need somebody that's going to take the fight to the IEA and the other grand protectors of the status quo in Illinois.